I do think, to be honest, a fight with Alex Pereira is more appealing. I'm just going to be honest with you. It is more appealing because Alex Pereira has been on this trajectory, on this wave, where he's a guy that's been in there for only 2 years.
And he operates at his own speed. He moves like a snake, like he pulls back and then he strikes forward, he pulls back. He's a master at just getting right outside of your shots, and then his shots are coming in right behind him.
Shama. And he's knocking all these guys out and stopping all these guys. And he currently has Jon Jones' title. Pretty much that light heavyweight title should have Jon Jones' signature on it because, hey, that's his title.
And varies a lot too. Like sometimes he moves fast and sometimes he moves slow. It's very hypnotic.
Yes, it's hypnotic.
He wants to fight Alex Pereira bad, bro. It's hard not to disrespect Alex when you respect him so much, but it just still seems like there's that big glaring hole in his game and nobody can test it.
It's also unique. He's got a unique frame, so he moves different on design. Wow. Like he doesn't switch his hips when he throws kicks, so you don't see him coming until it's too late.
Right.
But to say Alex Pereira is just an easier fight, I don't think so. Alex Pereira has proven that he's not an easier fight. He's not. Look at what he's doing to guys. Yes, they're not Jon Jones, but hey, he's somehow, how many times have we got on here and we talk about, okay, this guy might be able to get him. And then we're like, and then you are like, he did it again. He forced the guy to stand with him and just trade with him.
So he's standing in front of you, and when he kicks, there's no movement of his shoulders. He's just throwing these kicks out, and they land. And they're not as hard as if he put his whole body into it, but it's hard enough where you're like, oh no. And you get hit with a couple of those, 3, 4, 5 of those. All of a sudden, you're like, I can't walk anymore, and now he's hunting you. And he's hunting you. See, I would put him already in the conversation. I don't think he's better than Jon Jones, greatest of all time, but I already put him in the conversation as a potential greatest of all time nominee. And he's only been in the UFC for a few years. Yeah. It's crazy. A couple of MMA fights other than the UFC, and then the UFC for this run at the top of the division, just smashing everyone to obliterance.
Alex is he's an extraordinary talent. You know, he's a multiple-time world champion. He's a 2-division champion. And he's incredibly famous here in America. People know who he is, and that's what makes it worth my while, is to fight a fellow champion who is very hot right now. He has a name, and not only a name, but he has a tremendous resume that Aspinall just doesn't compare to.
And you saw that. You saw the fight. There was instances where Stipe was trying to exchange with Jon. Jon's defense, as you just say, wasn't really as sharp. Alex Pereira can continue that combination, and Alex Pereira is going to kick. And Alex Pereira will isolate those legs. So it's not that easy of a fight.
I think Jon Jones is going to be able to take him down and pass his guard. Yes, he will have to deal with Alex Pereira's stand-up, but that's easy to nullify. Which is to take him down, and then he can be able to, have his way with him, pass his guard, elbow him. I think that's how the fight will go down.
But I don't believe Jon's gonna fight Aspinall. I don't think there's enough money. He's too dangerous. He's too big. But there is a fight with Alex Pereira, and I do believe that Jon Jones wants it because they know there's a big deficiency in Pereira, and he's gonna expose that. So he's gonna make money. He wants to call it the champ versus champ fight, and I get it. Throwing it out there, you know what the reality is, Kamaru, he deserves that, dude. He deserves that fight, but I see nothing going on with Tom Aspinall. So Tom Aspinall, sit down. Jones is not going to fight you, and rightfully so, because you're too damn dangerous.
I can't say Jon is scared. I can't say Jon is ducking Tom Aspinall. I think those type of adjectives to describe that don't even make any sense in regards to what Jon has done, the type of killer's role he's fought, what's the risk versus reward. I think Jon is smart enough to analyze that and see what's the bigger bang for his buck and take the fight that's going to be more financially rewarding, especially when he's getting ready to exit the sport, versus being the 21-year-old guy who comes in and then wins a championship at 23 years old. That's unheard of, and I don't think it's going to be broken for a very long time.
Pereira's worth risking it for me. I don't know how many ways I can say it, but he just doesn't have the titles. You know, he can have a finishing rate, high finishing rate, and all that type of stuff, but he doesn't have titles. And when you have 17 world titles, it only makes sense to fight somebody on your level. And Tom Aspinall and Alex Pereira are not on the same level. Maybe they're both excited, they have the same excitement level, but when it comes down to what they are doing, they're not on the same level. And so for me, when I have belts and I have money and all that type of stuff, I'm looking for the legacy stuff. Tom doesn't give that to me. Hype, I would shut up hype, but I've been doing that my whole life, is shutting up hype. Me selfishly, I want legacy.
I would say based on their overall skills, Aspinall is a more dangerous fight for Jon Jones. Why? Because Pereira, amazing on the feet, absolute killer. So is Aspinall. The big difference is their ground game, right? Aspinall is still a killer. He's a submission hound on the ground, where Pereira maybe is a little bit weaker in that department. Not bad, but certainly not at the level of Aspinall. So when you're weighing all of those things, it's like, yeah, I'm going to make more money against a potentially easier fight in Pereira. Yeah, let's do that. And I think that's where he's coming from.
It depends what Jones wants to do in terms of division and stuff like that. If he wants to stay at heavyweight, there's no doubt that he has to fight me next. If he wants to have some fun matchups, as he says, then fair enough, he can go down to light heavyweight, but he has to give up the heavyweight title.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Other top guys need to be contesting for the heavyweight title, i.e. me, potentially the winner of Cyril Gane and Volkov. However that looks, I don't know. I don't know what's going to go on moving forward.
But I would like to see on the two, like the double side sell for that is like you see Jon come back, but then you see Pereira like shoot to be the first like 3 division champion, which would be a pretty crazy accomplishment. So to take the title off the line, for me, it like loses a lot of the reward for the huge risk that Alex would have to take to move up. Like obviously, bro, the size will be a difficult thing to get over. The wrestling side, the wrestling skill set of Jones and the submissions and the size will be huge obstacles for Alex to kind of overcome. So to take the heavyweight, to take the chance at the heavyweight title off the line, probably loses all kind of reward for Alex to even want to take a shot at that. So yeah, I don't see it making sense.
Well, I think, similar to investments, you have to weigh your risk management, right? It's about risk management and what is going to bring in that potential money in, right? So you're looking at it from the standpoint of a businessman. You're looking at the standpoint also of legacy as well. So let's pick that apart a little bit. Pereira is a bigger draw than Aspinall as of right now. The dude is a legit superstar. Aspinall, no slouch in that department probably as well, but I would argue that Pereira at this stage of the game is going to bring in more money in a fight with Jon Jones than, say, Aspinall. Okay, so there's that. So there's more money involved, and you have the star power as far as legacy.
There's no way I make the Pereira fight. Okay. Jon's too big, great wrestler. See how he took Stipe down in that first round? Yeah. I like Alex Pereira. I like him personally.
But he's the greatest of all time, right?
It just doesn't make sense to make that fight. If they both want it bad enough and they're both hounding me or something, maybe I would do it. It's just Alex Pereira is killing it. Look at his age and what he's doing right now. What's the reason to go up and fight a guy that's so much bigger than you and such a good wrestler?
They're playing chess right now. Who's gonna cave in? Is it gonna be Jon caving in, or is it gonna be him caving in to whatever price they decide to with which opponent? Or is Dana White gonna be like, you know what? Jon Jones is too dangerous. Why am I gonna give this guy Alex Pereira another champion? If Jon Jones does leave, how am I gonna let you just slaughter my cash cow and Alex Pereira? That's exactly why.
I was getting a few nods and winks off the bosses when Jon Jones was talking about the next fight, and that means a lot to me. And not only that, is I spoke to the UFC brass this week. Both guys are talking about this is going to be the biggest heavyweight fight in UFC history. Absolutely no doubt about it.
we're different people. So Floyd likes, he likes glam, he's very glamorous, and this is what he liked, and I was very savage. I wanted that savage, dark, malevolent aura. You know, I was just never the fly, slick, black fighter. You know, I was just very serious, and I was just very hard and mean.
And then when I see it's a chance for me to do a heist, a quick heist, I'm gonna let y'all know this. Y'all can say what y'all want to say. At the end of the day, I'm the smart one.
I'm happy for Mike Tyson from the standpoint that he went to 8 rounds. He didn't get knocked out. I'm happy for Mike Tyson because he got $20 million reportedly to Jake Paul's $40 million. I'm happy for Mike Tyson because he left with all his faculties in order. He got to fight in front of his children who may have never seen him fight before. And that crowd and that ovation and the love and adulation that was thrown in his direction when he was introduced was obviously special for him, and it was special for the people who love him, including all the fight fans the world over, because anybody that loved boxing absolutely positively loved watching Mike.
Toe-to-toe 8 rounds with the greatest boxer of all time. What do you think happens if you fight Floyd Mayweather?
I would knock him out.
Bro.
100%.
Don't be ridiculous. Don't be ridiculous.
You think because you lost a fight to Floyd Mayweather that you're better than me at boxing?
You said I won the fight.
In person, when I was watching it, I thought so. But then, yeah, watching it back, it's like, okay, I've had like a biased point of view, like sitting there in person.
This is the first time I've heard you say that.
Where's the $1 million outfit? Because I've never seen an outfit like that.
It's crazy. It's in the locker room right now, but I think we're going to try and put it somewhere like to showcase it. But shout out to the shoe surgeon, Alec Monopoly, and Pascal for all making it happen. 380 carats, over $1 million.
My last thing, I love Mike for like family. You love Mike. What do you tell him? Like, obviously, he's bummed out. He wanted to win. He loves
Bro, he's amazing. No one cares about the loss for him. He got to cement his legacy, make a bunch of money, and have fun doing it. You know, so that's all that matters.
Jake, what's the biggest thing you took from the Mike fight? Biggest learning lesson?
Man, I just felt so mentally like focused and locked in. There was like no nerves, no adrenaline.
Was there a single moment in this fight where Jake Paul was in any form of trouble? The only punch Tyson landed was the slap yesterday. I mean, Mike looked old as hell. He was not throwing back. He looked like he was on stilts. I didn't see his knees bend at all. And the constant biting of the gloves? Could anyone tell me what that was all?
Jake Paul, the boxer, is much better than people want to give him credit for. But I don't know that this does anything for that. Because he fought a 58-year-old man. He fought a 58-year-old man to a decision. That 58-year-old man comes out on the other side looking pretty good, if you ask me. He looked like you would expect a 58-year-old man to look in a professional boxing match, to their credit.
He sucks, or oh, he carried him, and more on that in a moment. The only result that I think people truly would have been happy with is a Mike Tyson knockout of Jake Paul. I think that's the only one that would have sufficed, and that wasn't happening. There was never really any doubt. He landed a couple punches early on, but there was never really a question as to whether or not that would happen. I think Jake carried him. I think Jake didn't want to knock him out. I'm not sure if he could have, but he definitely took his foot off the gas last couple rounds for sure. And ultimately, I'm okay with that. I predicted a Jake Paul decision. I thought it would be a little bit more competitive to get to the decision, but ultimately I'm okay with that. I am surprised he didn't call out Canelo afterwards or someone else. I'm not suggesting that should be the fight or that he can beat him or anything like that, but it seemed to be like that was the thing on his mind.
The world of boxing has never been one to shy away from controversy. From the brutal, raw spectacles of Muhammad Ali's iconic bouts to the iron-fisted dominance of Mike Tyson, the sport has long been a battleground where legends are made.